Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. Myself, Dr. Vinodal Desai, Associate Professor, serving at PG Department of Computer Science and Technology, Vallabh Vidyanagar, Sardar Patel University. In today's sessions, we will talk regarding list, use of list in our web page. Apart from that, we will use and discuss about the use of anchor tags and its uses, and at last we will also discuss about the meta elements. Okay, now first meta elements. What are meta elements? So meta tag is used to describe the meta content of a web page. HTML meta tag is used to represent the meta content about the HTML document or the content to be covered or displayed on a web page. It specifies page description, keywords, copyright, language, author of the document, etc. Metadata does not display on the web page, but it is used by search engines, browsers, and other web services which scan the site or web page to know about the web page. They are added inside the head tag. As we have seen or discussed in our HTML structure in previous session, that in our HTML structure we were writing, we can say a meta tag to specify the character set especially. Okay, so that was a part of this meta tag. Same way, apart from that character set attributes, we can also specify another attributes in terms of name, HTTP equivalent, content, and the character set we already discussed. What the name will contain? So this attribute is used to define the name of the property. HTTP eq specifies to get the HTTP response message header. Content attribute is used to specify properties value, and character set specifies the character encoding mechanism used for this HTML file. Name attribute we already seen that it is used with the specified meta tag to specify the name value pair, where name is the name of the metadata and content is the value of the metadata. The HTTP eq attribute is used to provide an HTTP header for the informations of the content attribute. The list of the possible values for the attributes are: content security policy specifies the content policy for the document. It is used to specify allowed server URLs. Content type to be displayed specify the character encoding for the document. It is the same as using the character set attributes. Default style specify the preferred style set to use. Refresh defines a time interval for the document to refresh itself. So these are various attributes used with the meta element. Second one is list. But before we proceed further to discuss the list, let's understand meta element with a practical. So this is the document in which we have defined various meta tags. Like first one is meta, then after it is covered under using the name attribute having a keyword value. Content is specified in terms of meta tags, metadata, or any other you can specify the value of your concern. Then after another meta tag is described using the description. So first meta is for the name, or we can say especially for the keywords about. Then second one is for the description, third one is for the revised about, fourth one, fifth one, depends on your requirement. So you can have a metadata description of your web page or document that you are developing. You are providing various details of your web page, and then after for a particular specific content that is provided in a name attribute, you can provide a corresponding value in the content attribute. At last, we have specified meta tag with a HTTP equi is equal to refresh, and content is specified, that is 5. So 5 seconds is provided to get the page refreshed. Okay, so after the interval of 5 seconds, the page is automatically get refreshed. So on the URL, that is what we have specified is http:// Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University URL is provided. So this web page is getting refreshed after every interval of 5 seconds. So this meta tag is very important whenever you need to have an update after every specified time interval. Let's run it so that you can understand it properly. Meta you can see here after 5 seconds, okay, the web page is redirected to the Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University URL that we have specified. Earlier, simply when we executed first time, it simply displayed the content of our last meta tag, that is we have specified over here. Okay, simply whatever the content was there, but it is redirected to the Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University after 5 seconds as it gets refreshed and it is redirected. So likewise, you can have other mechanisms, we can say meta information, meta content you want to deal with your web page. So meta tag is very useful in such cases. Moving next, that is list. List is widely used in every web pages, okay, for displaying the content in a particular order of your requirement. So HTML lists are used to display related information in an easy to read and concise way. When we want to use a list on a web page, HTML provides 3 different types of listing mechanism. One is ordered list, another is unordered list, and third one is description lists. You can use it as per your requirement. Okay, there are multiple ways to style this list with a CSS. Okay, we can use CSS to highlight, to format it in a more appropriate and we can say attractive manner. For example, we can choose what type of markers to use on a list. The markers could be square, round, numerical, alphanumerical, or perhaps non-existent even. That means none. We don't want to display any kind of markers. Also, we can decide if a list should be displayed vertically or horizontally. We can also decide that whether the list should be displayed vertically or horizontally. All of these choices may play a significant role in displaying the content on a web page. So let's have a look at each one in detail. Unordered list first. So what is unordered list? The name indicates itself. There will not be any kind of order in a, or we can say sequence of content to be displayed on a web page. So once the list is getting displayed, we can't decide or fix that which one is the first one and which one is second and which one is last. That means we can't have any kind of sequence of content displayed on a web page. To use the unordered list on a web page, we can use UL tag for the unordered list. So for displaying the content in the list form using the unordered list, we can use UL tag, that is unordered list tag. And within that, we will use LI tag, that is used for the list to be displayed or the content to be displayed on this mechanism. By default, unordered list items are marked with a bullet. We can say, as you can see, a big dot kind of thing, a bullet. So by default, this is what the content to be displayed in an unordered list. There are 4 types of list bullets. One is disk, second one is circle, third one is square, and at last none. That is, no symbols is going to be displayed. So you can use it to display the list in an unordered manner. To change the default list marker, we can use CSS list style type property. So if you want to change the default bullet marker from, we can say, display specified either list, circle, square and none, we will use CSS property, that is list style tile, to change it and display it in another manner. So let's have a look in an unordered list example so that you can easily understand. unordered list is there. Yes, it is displayed. Let's have a look at this first, unordered list. Simply forget about the other contents of ordered list. I have combined all these tags in a single file. So right now I am just going to cut it and I will put it in a blank document. Okay, then after we will take it for further requirement. But now we are just concerned with our unordered list. So I am just going to save this file. Now our title is unordered list example. Then here the header is there, that is unordered list. In unordered list, simply we have used, we can say, see here, our main concern is all about this, the content of our list. See here. This is a commented content. Okay, we have used the comment, HTML comment, as you can see here. That I am going to change it. But sometimes it is the listing mechanism or the markers that we people are using for marking the content of a list depending on the available or browser supports. Sometimes certain browsers are supporting certain kind of markers and certain browsers are not supporting. So depending on the browsers that you are using, certain marker symbols will be used or displayed and certain is not going to be displayed. So you just need to check with different browsers. The same program you can check it with different browsers so that you may be in a position to realize the actual effect of a markers you have used. So here simply what we are using now, see here unordered list is defined over here using the UL tag. Then after we have used a style attribute to provide the marker effect of the list content. So we have used style is equal to list style type and then after colon and the value is square. So whatever list items to be displayed, that will be in the form of square symbol. So our list items are displayed using the li list. See here, li tag we have used. So first is Gandhinagar. So each li tag requires a closing li tag. Okay, and each unordered list tag, see here, it is started over here and it ends at last. So it is very important to understand this, that every unordered list will start with the UL tag. Then after the style attribute is used to provide the marking effect of the content, and at last once the content of the list items getting over, you need to close the unordered list. Okay, so this is what the simple requirement is, and then after you can use the li tag as and when required to put or add another list items. So right now we have used 4 list items to display the city like Gandhinagar, Ahmedabad, Baroda and Surat. So just to save this file and let's run it so that you can understand it easily. List. So you can see here that unordered list 4 cities are displayed using the square symbol. Now let's change it to understand it another way. So another is, we can say, a disk. Another property is disk. So you can, instead of square, you can write a disk. Okay, let's write a disk. D-I-S-C, disk. And refresh, save the file, refresh it, you can come to know. See here, the marker is changed from square to disk. Another is, we can say, circle. Okay, and if you want to you can change it from these 4 available options, either none, square, disk or circle. If you doesn't want to display anything, just provide none. Okay, NONE, save it and refresh, save it and refresh the page. Now you can see there is no markers with in front of any list. So this is what the concept of unordered list. Moving next to, that is ordered list. So opposite to unordered list is a ordered list. Here we can easily understand that the order of the list is specified. So to specify the order list in terms of, we can say, number, or we can say we can specify the list in using the alphabets or any other mechanism, but simply the sequence is going to be provided in a ordered list. The main difference between the unordered list and ordered list is that with an ordered list, the order in which the items are presented is very important. Because of the orders matters, instead of using a dot as the default item marker, an ordered list uses numbers. Okay, so here the number is going to be used to specify the sequence of the items or list to be displayed in a web page. Ordered list also have unique attributes available to them, including start and reversed. So these are the attributes supported by ordered list. The start attributes defines the number from which an ordered list to be displayed. By default, ordered list starts with 1. However, there may be cases where a list should start at 20 or any other number. When we use the start attribute on the ordered list tag, okay, in an unordered list we were using UL tag, while in ordered list we will use OL tag. We can identify exactly which number an order list should begin counting from. So we will provide start attribute if you want to start a list from a particular specified number. The start attributes accepts only integer values, even though ordered list may be or may use different numbering systems such as Roman numbers as well. The reversed attribute, when used on the OL tag or at element, allowed a list to appear in a reverse order. The ordered list of 5 items numbered from 1 to 5 may be reversed in an order from 5 to 1. The reversed attribute is a Boolean value or attribute we can say, and as such it doesn't accept any numerical value. It is either true or false. Okay, now let's understand ordered list with a practical one. So as we already seen in the previous example that we have removed the content from the list program, so we will keep it back. Okay, this one, and if we will put it here again, Control Z, so the content is going to be displayed as usual. So now this is what the program we have discussed with respect to unordered list. Now let's remove the unordered concept from here. So it will be easy for us to discuss the ordered list. Now save the file. So title we will change from unordered to ordered list. Okay, and this is a description list. So let us remove this one as well. We are not interested right now. We are right now interested in a ordered list. So let's look at this. In a body tag we have a header that is ordered list, and as we said that ordered list always starts with a OL tag. So we have specified OL tag and we have type a type attribute is used, and we have specified the value that is capital A. So our listing will start with in alphabets from capital A, B, C like orders. So from Gandhinagar, Ahmedabad, Baroda and Surat will be displayed using the alphabet A in a capital way. Then ordered list is getting closed. So this is first ordered list. Now another ordered list we have used another we can say that is ordered list with the start attribute as we have seen. So what we have done over here, we have specified the ordered list type is equal to 1 and it will start with the number 4. So here we are using numbering at a mechanism. From in the earlier one we have used alphabet, that means capital A, while here we are using numbering mechanism 1, 2, 3, but the numbering will start from 4 as we have specified starting value 4. In another ordered list we have used reversed property. So what the reverse property will do, so it will reverse the value from this available list. So if the values are provided 7, then it will be displayed in a reverse order from 7 to 1. If it is 10, then it is from 10 to 1 like that. If it is 5, then from 5 to 1 in a reverse mechanism. And at last another we can say ordered list is there with a simple value property. See here, value attribute is used. Li is equal to value 5. Okay, then after Ahmedabad is there, then Baroda, So what will be the actual difference in a unordered list and ordered list is that in a unordered list we doesn't have such kind of mechanisms to provide starting ending mechanism, or from in between we can start with a particular value. Okay, we were not in a positions to do that such kind of formatting or functionality in unordered list, but the same functionality is available in a ordered list. So now let's have a look after executing this list practical. We have already saved it, so we'll directly run this. See here, 4 types of ordered list is displayed. As we see that first one we have used a capital alphabet mechanism, so A, B, C, D is used. While in the second one we have used a numerical mechanism with a starting index 4. So the list was displayed with a 4, 5, 6, 7 in a sequence manner. Then in a third we can say we have used a reversed property. So all the 4 elements that earlier used were displayed in a reverse mechanism. Okay, then after in the last we have used, we can say, a value property for the second tag of list, as you can see here in the last one. So li tag was there, that is first list, that is Gandhinagar, but list 5 Ahmedabad was given a value 5. So correspondingly in consequent the value will be based on the value provided in the second list. So here we have provided a 5, so the consequent values will be 6, 7, 8 like that. If you will change it from 5 to 7, 8, 9, then it will be displayed correspondingly. So this is what the list example is. Now moving next. Okay, as we already discussed this, that you can change the values, okay, as per a requirement for the sequence of numbers in an ordered list. From capital to small you can provide a small a. You can also specify the starting value, ending value in terms of the last index, we can say. Then a starting value in terms of, we can say, providing the in between value among the number of list content available. If you, let's have a look by changing any one. Okay, suppose here from capital to small if you want to provide, then you can specify a small a. So now the content will be displayed in a small alphabets. See here the first ordered list. Same way you can have Roman numbers as well. Okay, if you want to implement, then Roman is going to be displayed in uppercase and lowercase. Then third one is description list. First one was the unordered list, second one was the ordered list, and third one is the description list. So description lists are used to outline multiple terms and their descriptions. To create a description list in HTML block level element, DL is used. Okay, in unordered list UL was used, in ordered list OL was used, and in description list DL is used. Instead of using li element to mark up list items, the description list requires 2 block level elements. The description term element, that is DT, and the description element, that is DD. So instead of li that we were using in ordered and unordered list, in description list we are not going to use li, but instead we will use DT as a description term element and DD as a description element. A description list may have multiple terms per descriptions as well as multiple descriptions per term. A single term may have multiple meaning and warrant multiple descriptions. Okay, let's have a practical look so that you can easily understand it. How do we write a description list? Okay, so generally let me to undo it so that we will be in a positions to come up our last original example. So at last I have used a description list here. So let me to remove the previous content of unordered list and ordered list. So now here we have a description list. See here, H1 is a description list. Then that, as we said, that we will use a DL tag for description list, then after DT for description terms and DD for the description content. So the main description tag is description list, that is DL we have used. Under that we have a description term, that is URL. Here we have defined, that is DT. Okay, and it is required to close it. Okay, so don't keep it open. And then after, for the URL we will use DD, the original description of a specified DT term. So what is URL? That is described in a DD tag. So we have used a DD tag and we have closed it at the end. So be careful while opening and closing these DT and DD tags, very important. Another term is, that is protocol, that is specified using the DT term, and its description is provided using DD term. That is for the protocol. And third term we have defined is what? DT for the host, and at last the host is defined using, we can say, DD, description of the DT term, that is host. So this is another, we can say, list, that is description list, used to describe the important terminologies on a web page using the DL tag. Then subtags of DL are the DT and DD. So after the description tag, we can say we will have a nesting list. Okay, so after learning the ordered list, unordered list and description list, if you want to make up a whole web page in terms of mixing of all these tags, then you can usually use it. But the most important point to remember is that be careful while opening and closing the respective tags. Otherwise, you will be in a positions to have unexpected results. If you will open a unordered list and within that if you forget to close the corresponding tags, then the output would be, we can say, a unexpected one. So by nesting the list, the thing to be remembered is only the opening and closing tag to be kept and paired in a sequence. So let's have a look it through the practical so that you can easily understand. Nested lists. So here we have a one HTML document. Within the body tag you can say that one ordered list is there, or OL tag is there. In that we have a two list elements, Bharat and Gujarat. Under that we have a unordered list, you can see. Okay, another listing is there, go to the Ahmedabad and buy, whatever content should be, whatever you want. But see here, what I did is, these two lists are the separate ones, Bharat and Gujarat, because I have started the list tag here and it is closed after the list. While here the third list, it is not closed. Within this list I am using unordered list. See here, this list is closed after the unordered list here at this stage. So unordered list is used within this third list of the ordered list, that is go to the Ahmedabad and buy. So this content of unordered list, so within the LI list of ordered list I have used unordered list, and within unordered list I have used LI3 list, milk, bread and cheese. Okay, then after I have added another two lists to the ordered list. Okay, in terms of city, that is Assam and Madhya Pradesh, and at last I am closing the ordered list. So this is what the mix up of ordered list and unordered list. So as I told you, order is very important. Okay, now let's have a look after executing it so that you can understand it properly. See here, so in the third list we have an unordered list in terms of milk, bread and cheese. Okay, now let's make any change to understand it more appropriate way. Make any changes anywhere. Let's remove this and see here. So now I have removed the third list LI tag. So now it looks something, we can say, not as per expectation. whether the go to the Ahmedabad and buy list is a part of second list or it is a new list, like that. So very important to be in a sequence that which tag was started and which was closed. If I will remove this closing tag, then refresh it, say here now, okay. Another way, so you can make appropriate changes and try to understand that sequence is very important with respect to the nesting of the elements in a list especially. After nesting, let's go for the anchor tag. So anchor tag is very important as we are writing the HTML document, and HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So whenever we are talking about hypertext, then the anchor tag comes in our mind, because it is all about linking the content of different web pages, moving or navigating from one page to another page. Hyperlink is used. So that hyperlink is available. It can be incorporated in our web page using the anchor tags. So the anchor element is used to create hyperlinks between a source anchor and a destination anchor. The source is the text. It may be a text, it may be an image or button that will be linked with another resource. Hyperlinks are one of the fundamental technologies that makes the web page or the informations super highways. Anchor tags in HTML code are HTML elements used to create hyperlinks in web pages. Generally, the anchor tag is used using the A, okay, A tag. That means less than sign, then after A, and then after you can say the other attributes would be there, and then after we will close it. And the closing anchor tag is there. It contains various attributes. So anchor tag requires various attributes. Let's look at this. So first attributes of anchor tag is the href, hyper reference we can say. The href is short for hypertext reference. Attributes may be in the form of, or the value of this href will be the URL. That means when we have a hyper reference and whenever the user clicks on this hyper reference, it will be redirected to the specified value that you have provided in a href attribute. So it may be a URL or it may be any another file name. So it will be redirected to that particular page or document. So here the example is given that a href is equal to https colon then Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University website URL specified. Okay, so whenever the content given, that is BAOU, user clicks on this content, it will be, or he or she will be redirected to the specified URL value. The word BAOU is the anchor tag, text, the visible and clickable text of the link. The second attribute after href is the relative attributes we can say. It is a relationship between the current and linked resource. The rel attribute is having various we can say values in terms of alternate, author, bookmark, help, next, previous, no follow, and search. Search engine like Google uses rel attributes to get more information regarding the page. You can specify any value in a rel attributes based on your requirement. Next attribute is download. The download attribute tells the browsers to download the linked resource instead of opening it. Okay, so once you have provided a download attribute, then the specified attribute or document is going to be downloaded instead of opening in a window. So simply you need to provide download is equal to the document to be downloaded. You can specify any values. Target attribute is there, very important one. So the target attribute tells the browser where to open the specified link. So the target attribute may have various values in terms of underscore self. It indicates that to open the link in the same frame. Default and usually does not need to be verified. Second is underscore blank, which allows the document to be opened in a new window. Third one is underscore parent, to open the link within the next level up frame known as parent frame. Fourth one is underscore top, ignores all frames and opens the linked document in the full body of the we can say browser. Frame name to open the link in the named frame. So these are various values that we can provide in a target attributes. Okay, after that there is another mechanism that we can link to a email address as well. Okay, so that can be provided using the same, but instead of URL we will provide the email address in a href attribute. See here, at anchor tag is given and href is having a value in the form of email address associated with a mail to colon then the email address. So you need to write like this, that this is called mail to protocol. So mail to is a protocol, it is added to the href attributes value. And then after, once you click on the content of the anchor tag, the value or the protocol to be used for sending the mail is getting popped up, and you can write whatever you want and then after proceed further. Let's understand this anchor tag using the proper example. So here you can see that in our example we have a various anchor tags defined for the Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University with a various, we can say, attributes. In the first one we have used our relative or relationship attributes, and we have provided that the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar University website is related or linked in these anchor attributes. Then after we have used the target attributes with different values as we have discussed in terms of underscore blank, underscore we can say self, top, parent and frame name. Okay, and then after we have used a mailing one, that is a mail to protocols to redirect to a specific mailing service. Then also we have used a telephone number as well to dial up that. So a href attribute used for that. And at last we can say a download used to download the specified document instead of opening in a new window. So now let's run it so that we can understand it in a better way. So now our HTML document is executed in a browser and we have a number of links, okay, using the anchor tag. So you can click on any one. See here, if we are clicking on this, then it redirects to the university, Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University link. Then after, it is going to be opened in the same frame. Then this is what it will open in a new tab, that is, see here, it opens in a new tab. Our original practical window is this one. The link is opened in this using the target attribute blank. Then after, in a full body of the web page, that means link is opened in a full body, in a parent frame, in a iframe. Then if you click on the send email to, then you can have this one. So it will try to ask for the mail client that you want to use to send the email. Okay, right now we are not going to use any mail client, so we'll close it, and there be another one is there to download the image. So we'll click on this. So whatever resource you have provided, that is going to be opened, and it will ask us for downloading the respective file. If it is available, then it will be downloaded. Now, as we know that we are providing various URLs in the hyperreference attribute. So there may be two types of URLs. It may be a, we can say, absolute URL, or it may be a relative URL. Absolute URL is known as the full address, full path of the address to be provided, while relative URL is the relative to the specific document. It is not in the full form. So very important, and most probably whenever we are building up any web pages consisting various documents, and if we are accessing from anywhere, okay, so it is very necessary that keeping in mind where it is going to be used, you need to provide either absolute or relative path of the specified resource. So the most important thing, absolute URL is fine, but when to use relative URLs? So it is common for websites to be developed on a staging server with a domain name that is not the same as the eventual permanent domain name. So it is not we can say sure that from where your website is going to be accessed or where it is to be deployed. Sometimes it may be switched to another domain, another we can say place. So if it is in an absolute manner, then there may be a possibility that the resource asked by the link may not be available because it is in absolute manner. But if it is provided to the relative manner or relative path, then if you are changing the we can say directory or location, then it is not going to affect the performance or availability of the resource on a web page. If relative URLs are used when the site is transferred from the staging servers to we can say being live on the web, all of the relative URLs will continue to work just fine. Okay, it will not affect the performance of the website or availability of the resources. However, if absolute URLs are used, the development team will have to go through the site fixing all of the URLs. They have to update the path because it is in absolute manner. If the whole path are changed from one location, one directory to another, then they have to fix all these things. So in these sessions, we have talked regarding important concepts of web page development using HTML like list and URLs, absolute URLs and relative URLs. Thank you very much.